what I just said, I said that, to ask why this committee is different. I mean, we've had different committees talking about, just trying to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians, but yet the number of those who are getting into poverty in Nigeria keeps increasing. So tell us, what is unique, what is different about the Presidential Committee on Economic and Financial Inclusion? And tell us, some of the programs, that you have started or you intend to start that would really help you meet your objective.
Thank you. What's different about the committee? I think the financial inclusion space and the economic inclusion space have always been separated. And one thing we've seen is that the financial inclusion space has been led by the financial sector providers, especially the central bank and other regulators within the sector, as well as the operators. And the economic inclusion space has been led by different government agencies, depending on what aspect of economic inclusion we're talking about. And when we say economic inclusion, it's very broad, because it could be access to employment and jobs. It could also be access to entrepreneurial activity or access to retail or different things. So what this committee is doing is that, there are two sides of the same coin, but let's look at it holistically. Where are the handoffs and where are the complementarities, and how can we ensure that we're using one bullet really to fight multiple challenges and problems. So in bringing the two together, we're talking about how do we ensure that all Nigerians have economic access and are economically active. And then the second is, how do we ensure that when they're economically active, they have access to quality, affordable financial products and services that can enhance their economic activity and also promote better access to growth and scale within their businesses. So it's really multiple things under one umbrella. Now, why is this different? I think it's really the bringing together and acknowledging the fact that there are trade-offs and intersectionalities that we need to work on. Some of these intersectionalities are around women and gender, right? Women and gender. Some of them are around underserved, some of them are around youth, some of them are around geographic location. And each of these gaps or barrier areas that we've identified will need different solutions. So there needs to be in-depth understanding of what is the nature of the real problem and how do we get to solving each of these problems through different programs and initiatives. And I can tell you that there's no one-size-fits-all program to these things. It's really about understanding what are the nuances and how do we go step by step. But then again, the government is not doing everything. The government is also working with private sector, because private sector also has a role to play. Private sector employs Nigerians as well. Private sector provides activity. Private sector provides the market as well. So how do we ensure that we're all singing out of the same hymn book to ensure that all Nigerians can thrive within their spaces, they can have access to good and reasonable and decent livelihoods, and then they can move forward. So the programs that will be coming out of the Secretariat, which is the entity that will be formed to really now work with private sector, work with different civil society organizations, will now be framed on a needs basis. And one of the things we're going to be doing is working out a plan around what are the different key activities that we need to solve, but also being mindful of the fact that poverty is an increasing problem. So that is also going to be a way of prioritizing what are the low-hanging fruit that we need to deal with, and how can we get economic activity, livelihoods enhancements to Nigerians that are currently excluded. Thank you.